Hey, Seaside Neighborhood School families and Seacoast Collegiate High School. I'm Tom Miller. I'm the executive director of the Seaside School, and this is our first 30-day update. So I'm really excited to spend a little bit of time with you. And like I said in the email, I've already got this as like a PDF download. So if you want to read it, feel free to read. But I'm just going to kind of talk through some of the pieces on here. And one of the things that, lots of folks have asked me is like, what do you do, Tom? Like, I don't really understand your job. So as the executive director of the Seaside School, I really focus on vision forward, right? Ensuring we have a strategic plan and a strategy for each one of our short and long-term goals. I oversee the academics, the operations, the finances. I also oversee the school's foundation. So I'm, directly responsible for ultimately everything that happens on campus, right? From ensuring that we have the safest school in the area and the highest performing academically, that it's a great place for our employees to work and to learn, and our students feel safe, right, in the best learning environment. So all those pieces are my responsibility. I'm also a licensed superintendent and a licensed administrator. So some of my best days and my favorite days on campus are when I get to be a principal. So I also at times would address discipline, right, or high level issues, mainly. But I also ensure that we are enforcing all of our policies, right? Our everything that's in our handbook. So anyway, so that's just kind of a high level of what I do. I'm also a dad. I've got two kids at our school. So and we love being here. This is my third year of leading the school, and we've had a lot of significant growth and changes over that time. Our current enrollment as a whole school is 595 students. We have 152 full-time college students here, which is amazing. And about half of them, right, attend school here at on the South Walton campus, and the other half attend up at Niceville, which is great. And so we're continuously working with the college to improve and increase the number of college courses that they'll have here at the South Walton Center. But the goal ultimately is that a student, if they choose, should never have to leave here to obtain their associate's degree. There may always be a class or two that is being held at Niceville that we might not be able to do here, maybe, like a special science class or like a ceramics class or just, something high level. Those things may happen, right? But it's our goal to work with the college hand in hand to ensure that all of the classes are being offered right here. And my vision is pretty simple, right? Is that every student who walks through our doors, okay, will be one cared for, right? And they'll be learning in a caring environment by caring people. And two, that they will be equipped and prepared for any path that they choose in life. So whether they leave us after eighth grade and attend a different school, right? They are fully ready to go, and it actually happened. We have not all of our eighth graders come over here, and I just saw one the other day. She's a ninth grader at South Walton, and she's like, I'm kind of a little bored in some of my math classes. And that makes us feel good because we prepared her for her next step, right? So I believe that students shouldn't just, thrive academically, but also grow in character and confidence and leadership. And that's a big part of some of the changes we've made with our advisory program, at the high school, at the middle school, with our house leadership, program, with our, Compass crew, and everything that we're looking to do moving forward is really to build empowered leaders. Empowered leaders. So basically, every student receives an extraordinary education in a caring environment. It's a short way to say it. But anyway, some things that we're super proud of, at the high school, we've added that midday break, and I'm not sure what the term it is. It's self, directed time or something to that effect. But it's a time for, white space time, right? It's a time for students to think. It's a time for students to go ask for help. It's a time for students to, maybe catch up if they're feeling overwhelmed. But that extra margin of the day, right, is really helping students balance their academic, demands with, with also their personal well-being, which is most important. At the middle school, we have that daily advisory program that is really focused right now on building relationships and will continue, to grow and it's new, right? So everything that's new is going to have, growing pains, and we're working through those and we're getting feedback from the students about what they would like that time to look like and feel like. But we will, continue to really work on those critical life skills like time management, critical thinking, and communication, collaboration. All these are coming. So both campuses have embraced this model, this opportunity to ensure that all kids feel heard, right? Are heard, have a place in an adult that they can go to when they have those challenges. So. In addition, right, super excited. We got 14 new staff members. So when I came here, I think we had, 22 to maybe 25 employees total, and now we're over 50. So we've really, really grown as an organization. A lot of fresh new ideas, experiences, and perspectives, and it's really, creating not just a better academic environment but also bringing in lots of these other great initiatives as well. So we are grateful the way they've embraced our school culture, and they're already making such a great impact. And also, listen, we got 50 new fifth graders. Now, some are siblings, but they don't really, if they don't come to school at Seaside neighborhood every day, they really don't know. Like they hear maybe from their older brother and sister. But yeah, I mean, 50 new middle schoolers, and we have over 110 ninth and 10th graders that are brand new to our school. And so they have really embraced each other and built just a nice environment to learn. Um, we're starting to see some of our college students hang out in the college building all day. They'll come out for lunch. Maybe they'll check in with some former teachers. They're, staying after for clubs. So we're starting to build that high school culture that we've always, wanted for. And we're really getting excited for college and career programming. Mindy Larson is working really hard. Just wait till you see her first newsletter. It's coming out if it hasn't already, but it's just amazing, and it'll come to all grades. And she's starting to build programs through Zello, which the middle school was using in some ways, but we at the high school need to start using it. But it's a great place for all students, really starting to think about college and career, what their strengths are. It's a place for them to house all of their experiences and their community service time and their job shadowing time and any internships that they do. So this is going to be a great add-on for us. The STEM and Innovation Lab. So every day after school, more equipment has been showing up, and Mr. Thurman has been working with the robotics team and the STEM teams to start to put all this equipment together. So I'm going to say probably in the next 30 days, both labs will be done. Not only the new computer lab, but also the innovation lab. Um, our theater program, our high school uh, production's going to be at the end of the month in October. And that's the Adams Family, and I just can't wait. And high school students are super excited. If you didn't see the theater shows that we did last year, even if you don't have a student in it, I highly recommend that you come out and you see it. It's just going to be great. Abby Lee does a really great job, and really focused on the student, um, culture here. Sharon Martin has done a great job in improving our social media, our highlighting of our students, our highlighting of our mission and our values-based programming. So that's been great. And there's so many great things happening on both campuses. So stay engaged to the newsletter from Kim and Drew, and you'll learn more about all those pieces. But I mean, hopefully your son or daughter is having a really great start to the school year. If they're not, we have some of the best, counselors and adults that they could lean into. And so that's we intentionally invest in those types of programs and those types of people. So we got, Miss Kaler at the high school. I'm sorry, at the middle school. We got Miss Greenway, Miss Armstrong, and now Miss Larson So we got four uh, counselors for 600 students. It's a 150 to 1 ratio. I mean, it's kind of unheard of. But it's very intentional that we do that. And all of our teachers went through emotional learning training over the summertime as well to really help, right? To help be more aware of, mental health issues and to have more tools to create those brain breaks, right? And those calmer classrooms. So it's been really great to see them put those practices into play, and then they're teaching them to the students, and a lot of students are actually leading some of those initiatives, during the day. But safety always comes first. For us, that's always our top priority. Over the last month, we have conducted multiple safety drills, and at the high school, right, it's all brand new to us, so we're learning all the nooks and crannies, and we've got our emergency plans in place. Um, Transitions, right, are going really smoothly right now. Arrival and dismissal is really starting to get into like a sweet spot of about 10 to 11 minutes of moving time, right? But if you choose to come earlier, then you're waiting around longer. But all of our students are off campus at the high school by 2:58 to 59 sometimes, right? And we started probably 2 like 52 because it takes 5 to 7 minutes for all the kids to leave class and get there. So it is moving quickly. We just ask that you continuously obey the traffic laws, right? So those are one-way streets during those transition times. So please no K turning, no turning around in the parking lot. We really don't wish that you drop your student off in any other location except right at the front of the old campus. If you drop them off on that street or if they've got to walk across the bridge, it's just unsafe. We don't have any adults there every day. Ninth and 10th grade parents, you're doing an amazing job, and the students are driving too, of just, merging traffic, right? Merging traffic coming off the highway of 331 and off of, the back end of, Greenway Trail. So thank you so much for handling that in the morning and the afternoon when there's not an adult there, but you guys are doing great. Keep it up, right? Just again, follow the traffic laws. Everything's going to be fine with that. And also, the cell phones. Boy, kids are doing a great job, right? It is really interesting to see them as soon as they get out the door, they like immediately go to their phone. So hopefully we'll start to curb that feeling, but they're doing great. They're using it during their lunchtime, which they are, allowed to. We just ask that they don't make phone calls from the walkway, and sometimes they're talking to you, mom and dad. So we just ask them to go to a place where they can make a call, which is down in the office. So if you could do that and help us out with that, just make sure that they know where they can and cannot be on a phone call. I'm going to make that note here. Um, but it's a positive shift. So hopefully maybe you're, finding a difference at home too. So let us know. Supervision and transportation. So supervision hours, middle school, 7:45 to 3, and high school, 7:30 to 3. And look, we know that the middle school off the bus comes after 3. So, we are hanging around until, at least, 3:10 ish. We may call by that time to make sure, that your son or daughter's in the right spot or were they, supposed to take a transit bus. But that is the supervision time that we have. So we just ask, right, if you're going to be late or something's going on, reach out to the building principal and let us know. Traffic flow, we talked about communication. If your child's going home with a different family, just let us know ahead of time so we know where they're supposed to be. I mean, technically, I know they're young adults, right, and adolescents, and they'll probably would be safe just kind of walking to where their destination is. But we just need to know. My expectation, and this is what I've communicated to staff, is that this is a custodial exchange. So that means that they're our school's responsibility until they're in your hands. And so if they go, walking to South Walton High School or just leaving Seaside neighborhood and, heading somewhere else because you've told them to, and we don't know about it, I don't want to be put in the middle. I don't want our any of our staff to be put in the middle of that conversation, right? I'm never going to tell your son or daughter not to listen to you. And I would hope you would do the same, right? Because our job is safety. And if we don't know where they're supposed to go, and we don't know where they are, we're just going to immediately move into an emergency mode, because that's our main, concern. So if you could just make sure you communicate ahead of time, bus safety, middle school parents, uh, riding the bus is a privilege. It's not a right. Okay. And, the bus has been, you know, 55, 65 kids about every day. And that's pretty much, capacity of the bus. Um, and we've just been having some, behaviors on the bus, right? Yelling, throwing things, maybe spraying perfume or, like the fart sprays and stuff, right? I mean, all that is distracting to the bus driver. And not only are they responsible for the 65 kids on the bus, but they're all responsible for the other cars on the road too. So the last thing we need is our bus driver to be distracted. Now he's done a great job, and everybody loves him, right, Mr. Lee. But I'm asking you, right, to make sure that you're, a child understands like driving a bus is really hard if you haven't done it. It's a lot of work, and when the kids are moving around, it rocks the bus, it distracts the driver. Someone yells or shrieks, right? Screams. I mean, all that is distracting. And so we're not, listen, I'm not going to say, hey, sit there with your hands, folded and you can't talk. That's not the goal here, but it is being, the same rules that would apply in your car if you're, driving across the country, right? Well, now we got 65 in the back of your car. It's a lot. So just asking that you guys, do that. And transition times is it's only about 12 minutes. So just hang in there for those 12. But if we have students who continually create a safety issue, then driving the bus won't be an option. Won't it just won't be an option for them. So and I hope it doesn't get to that. Hope it doesn't get to that. What's new this year in academics? Lots of new initiatives to do two things. One, identify where students currently are, which is so important when we have 50 new fifth graders, 110, 15 new ninth and 10th graders. And then we got these college students as well, right? So we've got some universal screeners that have happened in the fifth grade, which is really great. Kim and Courtney and the team have done a great job of really getting to know the current reality of where every fifth grader is, and that helps them put them on an academic plan, right, for each kid. And when you have a school like ours, where we're a college and career prep, and we're almost doing 4 years of high school and 2 years in a sense to prepare them for college. I mean, I consider all kids at risk. So especially when at the high school we have a grade point average requirement, you have to maintain a 3.0. That is to attend college classes. So that's not a Seacoast rule. That's a Northwest Florida State College rule, a dual enrollment rule. So any student who's like teetering on a 3.1, 3.2 grade point average, they're going to be flagged as at risk because they're super close. And we've had way too many students over the last 2 years have to withdraw due to their grade point average. And we've got so many pieces in place. We've got interventionalists in math and reading. We've got tutoring every day. We've got our midday time where they can get help, right? Or do some independent practice. So there's a lot of opportunities there, and obviously at the middle school too. So each school, and I've kind of highlighted them here in the PDF if you want to take a look. But we'll have pre and post tests in our non-assessed classes. So we're always kind of looking at student progress. We have more formal teacher discussions, and they call them professional learning communities. If you ever hear someone say like a PLC, so that we're having more dialogue amongst common teachers about students. We're going to be working on implementing a test taking strategy in each of the classrooms and each of the grade levels, and higher students go, because if your child wants to be a doctor, they're going to have to be able to take a test and pass it. A lawyer, take a test and pass it. Get their license. take a test and pass it. So we want to spend more time on, teaching them how to take tests well, how to study well, right? Uh, Attendance accountability. Any student who's missing 20% of a class over a 30-day period, we will have a parent meeting that will be a non-negotiable, whether it's excused or not. Missed time is missed time. And that's that we just want to make sure that we're all on the same page about expectations, coming to school. And, tutoring is not school, right? Google Classroom is not school. Being here in the classroom in a direct instruction mode makes a significant difference. New reading comprehension programs in the, Lexia, that's, helping some of our students that are needing that additional, supplementary tools. We have new ELA curriculum, school-wide through a new textbook adoption, vertical planning. So that's like, a teacher's not just grades 5 through 8 in math, talking to each other, but we want a 5 through 10 conversations to make sure we have kind of, begin with the end in mind. And we start to really think about, hey, what are the skills that some of the students are missing in high school? How can we make sure that we reteach or, teach them, differently at a middle school? What are some of the strategies that they might need? And as I had mentioned, we have full-time academic assistants, educators on each campus, which is first time ever. We've got two and a half at the middle school, and we've got two here at the high school, which is great. So some big key variables we're watching is I've already talked about student attendance, about learning gains. So last year, our learning gains, and that's when a student increases their end of grade, score. So they go from a 3 to a 4, or they maintain a 5, or they move from a 2 to a 3, right? It wasn't as high as we want. So we have a goal this year to make sure at least 80% of our students, do that. I would love 90% is my big goal, but we're going to shoot for 80 this year. And then also, discipline matrix. So there's a new shift in the discipline matrix in your student handbook at the middle school. It's the same here at high school, but we have added obviously the cell phone policy to the high school. But so we're reteaching student expectations and behaviors, and it's about this time where we start to kind of see the honeymoon phase being over of any brand new initiatives. So you may see an uptick in students getting written up, right? Because maybe they've been warned enough at this point. Clubs and programs, man, we have expanded extracurricular offerings on both of our campuses between sports and academic type. We got chess, we got debate, we got arts, theater arts. There's so many clubs going. So there's a full listings of all the clubs. I'll have to make sure it's updated on our webpage, but I'll put the link in here. And what we would love, right, if you're willing, if you've donated to our annual fund in the past, one of the things that we've done this year is now you can earmark how you would like that money spent, right? So if the link's here, but if you're willing to, donate to our programs, whether it's to our theater program, whether it's to our Dream Big program, to our Amazing Shake, to our STEM, right? I mean, there's lots of ways that you can donate and help, and we would love that. And one of the things that I wanted to make sure is that we did it in a way where there's a greater impact for your dollar. So right now, 100% of whatever you donate is going to go directly to the program that you earmark it for. And there's a description on the page here that you'll be able to take a look at. And if you have any questions, reach out for that. Love that. How other ways families can lean in. First thing, check in regularly. If you're at the middle school that, teacheries, you may not want the app because then it updates you every time there's a grade, but you definitely want to be checking at minimum once or twice a week on how your student is doing. Do they have any missing work? Where's their grade? And constantly reach out to the school's counselor. That's one way. It's the same thing in focus. If you're at the high school, you can volunteer your time. We need parents on both of our campuses. We've got mentoring programs. We've got lots of events. There's There's off-campus opportunities where we're starting to rebuild our job shadowing and professional exposures. We're going to be asking for keynote speakers soon. Every one of our high school students has to complete 100 hours of community service. And how great would it be if they did that, service in your occupation, right? You may expose them to a profession that, they weren't thinking about. So if you're interested, you can reply to this email and I'll get you in touch with the right people. Campus, you can support, this is a big thing. Let me start over. I need help. We'd really like to make sure the decor at the high school is well, branded and aesthetically pleasing. And like I want it like now. And that can't just happen. But if you or know someone who is, talented in designing and decorating, please, send them our way if they're willing, to do it. At a very, very low rate or just donate their time and their talents, that would be huge. We're also looking, I've got some really big ideas of how we're going to create our senior wall. So we'll need help with, framing our senior photos and getting them on the walls, correctly. So if you're willing to do any type of work like that, whether it's, design or just like execution of a plan, please email me. We would love to have you. We also have everything that we are not bringing into the building. I've got all these, smart boards that we either need to sell or, donate to organizations. We've got lots of furniture. We got bookshelves and things. So I've got to get the old, rooms, cleaned. So if you're willing to help out, either um, up level the decor in the new high school, reach out. If you're willing to help us declutter, reach out. We need you. We need you. Okay. I want to get all this done pretty much within the next, 30 days. We got some upcoming great events. We've got our Glavin golf outing, which is sold out of all the foursomes and sold out of all the sponsors. What a great job by our new foundation team led by Callie Cox. She's done incredible work so far. And shout out to our silent auction team. Jamie's done an incredible job for us, and she helped with the race too, and she's crushing it. So, but if you've got a silent auction item, there will be a link here. You can donate that silent auction item to us, or just donate back to the Glavin golf outing. All funds for the Glavin golf outing will go towards the capital campaign. Why would that matter? Because the less money we have to use, right, are like school money to pay for these buildings, the better. So we're looking to raise all of the funds outside of using our own school expenses. We want to use our school expenses to ensure we have the best teachers and provide the best academics to our students. And so the more money we can raise on these external events like the race, the Glavin golf outing, and our capital campaign, the better. So give where you can. So if you think about it, every one of our extracurricular programs, our sports, our clubs, our teams, that is all paid for through philanthropy, 100%. And we would not be able to have uh, all of those extra programs. Well, I mean, we could, but probably our teachers wouldn't do it because they wouldn't be, earning a stipend, or a coach wouldn't be earning a stipend. So the funds raised through the race help with extracurriculars. The funds raised through the annual fund help with extracurriculars. And now we're, like I just shared, we are allowing you to streamline that, fund to the program of your choice. Could be the band, could be art class, could be theater, could be debate, right? It could be chess, it could be all those clubs, could be, it could be STEM, could be, dream big. And what, dream big is we have scholarships and sponsorship opportunities for students who either want to go, travel and go see a college, or they want to maybe take like an experiential, trip, somewhere. Or we've got some students who are going to take some medical um, certifications as sophomores. So we that's a $5,000 investment we're going to put into them. It's going to be a self driven club and study led by one of our sophomores, which is so great. Ava, she's done a great job. So like dream big is helping students, right, gain exposure to bigger opportunities. And so again, and it will also help with our Seaside School scholarship at the end of the year. So you can do all those pieces. Right now, you can sponsor a teacher. I think there's a couple days left. So if you haven't had a chance to sponsor a teacher, every dollar matters, right? So if you can't do the full, 300, you can do, 50, and that'll help, right? So we appreciate everything that you all do, for us. And I would ask that you stay connected, to us. Some of you have already reached out and told me some things that are happening that we weren't aware of on campus, which is great. Your kids are going to talk more at home than they will probably here. So, if something gets your ears up, I don't consider it like a tattletale. Just kind of reach out, say, hey, this is weird. This is what they're talking about, or can you give me some understanding around this? Like that's why I give my cell phone out. Go ahead and let us know. I'm a big believer in shoveling the pile when it's small. So, right. So if we can get, clarity on the front end and address any situation or any misunderstanding, right, that just helps because I don't want anybody coming on the campus, feeling uneasy about anything. So, thank you for that. Continue to stay connected, whether it's me or Kim or Drew, it doesn't matter. Just let, somebody know. Um, all right, so construction updates. We've got a few. The high school is super close. So within the next 3 weeks, so by the end of the first week of October, maybe the second week, let's just say mid-October. By mid-October, the entire front of the campus will be done. And so that'll be this beautiful courtyard, green space that will expand our lunch area, our hangout area. There will be a stage for performances and opportunities there as well. So that's all happening. And then when that happens, then all the construction, trucks and stuff will also be gone, which will open up more of our parking spots and free flowing traffic through the high school. So that's a really big shift. We've got a lot of internal construction where we're able to start to hang up things now. We are putting tons of furniture together. So if you love to put furniture together, we would love we would love your handy man or woman status because we got a lot. It's a lot of work on Lee to try to get it all set up. So we need that. And then we've got our STEM lab is being built. In addition, we have applied to multiple grants for the middle school to retool all of their technology too. So keep your fingers crossed. We'll learn more about that all on October 20th. So really excited about the expansion, the construction, the development and the growth of both of our campuses. Currently, part of the walkway up top of Seaside neighborhood has some structural damage. So, students are not able to walk up there right now. And there's already being, plans of a cover kind of over that anyway. So there may be some construction happening there at Seaside neighborhood. We will keep you informed about any of that. But hey, vision for the future. We are very highly focused on our student learning. And one of the things that we are, doing is surveying our students about where do they see themselves maybe. Because we want to line up the electives that our school offers, the clubs, the programs, the opportunities to the majority of what our students want. And so, the survey that you all, filled out for me last year talked about, STEM. So we're really working on our STEM programming. We will continue to increase our arts, programs. We're building an entrepreneurship program as well. And that's really leadership if you think about that, right? It's not just about having your own, business, right? It's really about self-leadership and being visionary. So I'm really excited for that to start to launch. But ultimately core content, right? We want to be the best in the state of Florida. And this year we were like 83rd or something, I don't know, out of over 3,000 schools. But we got a lot of room to grow and a lot of opportunities, especially with the growth of our fifth grade and our ninth grade students, right? Those are two key points of entry into our school that we are really working diligently on. So if you've got a fifth grader or a ninth grader or even like a new 10th grader and are just really struggling, trust the process, hang tight, reach out to the teachers. Like we're going to get them there, right? It takes time to establish new habits, right? It will happen, okay? But what we're really, really doing is looking to target support earlier and put those interventions in play so they can be successful later. And most importantly, learn how to be resilient and persistent, right? Overcome challenges, advocate for themselves, ask for help, work with other people. I mean, those are the most successful humans are the ones that are resilient through big challenges. So that's just some updates on the first 30 days. Look for an invitation. I think we're going to do the first coffee with the principal on October 1st, and we'll do it here at Seacoast Collegiate High School. So look for that to be confirmed. Feel free to reach out to me anytime. Oh, my cell phone number is in the email below. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for choosing us and allowing us to teach your son or your daughter in this extraordinary learning environment. Bye bye.